The zoo is back in session, just as is school here at Pittsburgh. As we take a look at our Food Lion starting lineups for tonight's game. Without question, the aforementioned guards for Pittsburgh, Johnson, McGowan's are catalysts, but Wilson Frame's got a lot of experience, the most of the five starters, Tony and Brown. Four, obviously, with Cunningham, Sutton, who is a key element to this team, Malik Williams, and Wara, the outstanding scorer for this Louisville team, round out the starting five for Chris Mack's club. Our officials tonight, Brian Dorsey, Don Daly, Kip Kissinger, and we're underway. The opening tap controlled to Pitt.
Louisville opens in the man-to-man, and of course it's a different Louisville man-to-man, more of the pack line defense. They try to stay in front of you, keep you out of the lane, not quite so much pressure out on the perimeter.
A dribble handoff action to McGowan's and a rejection by Williams. The great height and frontline strength of Louisville will be noticed. Pitt had all kinds of problems with it over the weekend in their loss here to North Carolina, which you were on hand for.
And Pitt does struggle with size on the interior.
Nice move by Williams. Malik with an outstanding flush.
The only guy that Pitt has on the inside who even can come close to a shot blocker is Terrell Brown, and he was chasing Malik Williams. He's got to find a way to keep Brown down on the inside.
Leading rebounder for this Pitt team, only 6'6", so you again see the difference in size and stature for this club as McGowan's can't hit a bunny.
That was a tough shot. He was looking for a foul. Again, he's going up against Malik Williams. Williams blocked the last one.
Sutton on a dribble drive, guilty of extra steps this time. Pretty good defense by McGowan.
Nice ball movement by Louisville, and Williams he fakes the screen and then just slides to the basket, and nobody's back there to help.
That was some slip.
Yeah, I think Jared Wilson Frame came running by, but too little, too late.
Xavier Johnson, freshman from Woodbridge, Virginia, Bishop O'Connell High, highly thought of and touted. There's Wilson Frame, one of the holdovers that were inherited here by head coach Jeff Capel. That one does not fall for Johnson on the wing.
Cunningham has done an outstanding job just being solid at that point guard spot. Very, very reliable for Chris Mack.
49 years of age, Chris Mack. What an incredible job. He did it as alma mater before taking over here and trying to build this foundation of excellence back at Louisville within the ACC.
He's very intense and very cerebral, identifies really well with his players, gets along with them.
Sutton lost that one on a baseline pass, pulled away by Jared Wilson Frame. He gets it back. Off the heel, long rebound comes down into the hands of Sutton. And it's 4-0.
That's a shot that the Panthers have to make if they're going to be competitive. You miss that three in transition, it's a long rebound, and Louisville comes down and gets an easy one. That ball has to go in the basket for the Panthers to have success.
Tony turned down a look. There is some aggression in this team. The dribble drive leads to an open three. They're going to call that bucket good for Ellison. And that's actually a two-pointer to make it a 4-2 game.
Ellison is not a very good perimeter shooter, so that's a break for the Panthers that one went in.
Cunningham. We got tagged. There's a foul before the pass, it appeared.
And we talked about how Louisville's trying to play a little bit more conservatively on defense, but they still like to get out and run. And Ellison just has his toes on that three-point line. I guess that's why he made the shot, because he's only 1 for 9 from three, so inside three is much better.
Yeah, don't think about it, right? Just launch it. That was a step back that doesn't go for Wara, and it's out of bounds. It will be controlled to Pitt. By the way, Ellison did pick up the foul on this end of the floor. As you look at Jeff Capel, gosh, it wasn't that long ago, was it? We were calling his games at Duke. Time does fly,
You don't have to point that out.
Yes, it does. His brother Jason is on the staff. In fact, every member of the Pitt staff has been a head coach at the Division I level. It's not often you say that, but it's truly a family affair that Jeff has underway here at Pitt. Ellison leaves it for Tony. Good look, wide open.
Except that Tony's not a very good three-point shooter. I think if you're Louisville, you live with that.
Williams has it stripped away. Quick hands by Terrell Brown. Pitt's only 1 of 6 from the floor, but Louisville's not made anything happen themselves, and Johnson ties it up at 4.
And that's what Pitt has to be able to do. That's when they are at their best, and they can take the ball and drive it to the basket, particularly Xavier Johnson.
Quan Ford operating in the backcourt. Malik Williams too strong, and it's pulled down by Tony.
I think this is the kind of a game where Malik Williams needs to get himself down inside and stay there.
Ooh, good crossover by Johnson. Brown with a follow. Too strong, and Sutton clears.
Just because you get the ball close to the basket doesn't make it a good shot.
Cunningham, excellent pass, and a scoop to the hoop by Quan Ford. Length of the floor pass to Ellison. That's an offensive foul. Player control will go against Malik, and that's his second. As we played 4.5 plus here at the Zoo in Pitt, it's 6-4 Louisville. Time now to take a look at our Carolina Ford dealers' keys to the game, Dan.
For Louisville, I think they've got to be on the attack. They've got to keep the Panthers back on their heels. That means driving the ball at them, but they can't throw it out the door and give Pitt extra opportunities. And the Panthers, Louisville's size is going to be a problem. They've got to find a way to work their way around that.
To this point, we've seen a lot of that. The shots haven't necessarily fallen. The one thing you notice right at the gates is that the freshmen are able to penetrate, get the ball inside the painted area for a kick out, but not necessarily to the right shooter at this stage. But to your point, the two major scorers are McGowan's, obviously, and the point guard, Xavier Johnson.
Now, McGowan's left the game with a little bit of a foot injury. He was on the bike over behind the bench. He's back in now. I think it's really important for Xavier Johnson to be able to pressure Cunningham without fouling.
Cameron Davis in for him, and there's a foul. Goes inside against Chukwuka. Hey, Chukwuka, that's his first. Number 15 in gold.
Tim, and this is what we're talking about right there in the center of your screen. Enoch battling against Chukwuka, and that's a place where Louisville has a tremendous advantage. Chukwuka got in foul trouble against North Carolina, only played 11 minutes. They're just battle again, and this time Enoch gets called for the foul.
He was rooting him out with a lower body. As they say, sometimes the derriere can get in the way, and officials caught him that time.
That's supposed to be a point of emphasis, trying to clean up their play in the post. It's been a point of emphasis for the last 130 years.
Since you and Wally walked through the play? There's McGowan's from downtown. I see what you mean about this kid. The freshman from Pennington, South Carolina, by way of Hargrave Military Academy.
He can shoot the three, but I didn't realize he had that kind of range. Louisville's got to put some more pressure on him.
Enoch. Boy, I tell you, when he plays well, Louisville's a different team. And chatting with Chris Mack earlier today at the shoot-around, said, you know, what are you looking for? What do you need more of? He says, well, consistency from Enoch makes us a much better team. How about that? Nylon song from Trey McGowan's.
You have to be so careful because McGowan's is such a good driver, but that time he shot that one over the outstretched hands of Enoch.
A classic rainbow delivery. Hit by 2. 6 minutes gone by. And another pilfer for the Panthers. Stop and go. McGowan's reversal. We're seeing all of the repertoire.
I told you before the game, over his last 3, he's averaged 19 a game. He may get 19 before halftime.
They are juiced at the Zoo.
If you're the Panthers, you have to stay disciplined. You don't want to get so excited that you try to make plays you shouldn't make and commit fouls.
Laura, not there. That's a tough shot. Great work on the offensive boards, though. A takeaway, and it was a great one by Sutton, pulling that one away from Chukwuka.
Very disappointing for the Panthers. They had position, they just couldn't secure the ball. Boy, you just can't have those kinds of plays.
McGowan, what a blow by! What a blow by!
He is really good going to the basket. And he just had enough room to get past Enoch.
Boy, I'm impressed. I knew he was good. He was rated 83 among the Hot 100 in the 2018 recruiting class. He's living up to that advanced billing, at least early on tonight. Laura dribbles into traffic, taken away by Chukwuka. Davis is down there, but it's taken to the rack by Tony, and the foul committed underneath. Enoch in position to pick that one up. It does go against him, his first.
And Trey McGowan's has really gotten things going for Pitt. A couple of feet behind the three-point line, knocking it down. The second time with the big guy on him, he takes the ball to the basket. A great drive, and then in transition, he got to the basket the last time. So he's a guy, if you're Louisville, you got to find him. And I think you can live if he's going to stay out there and shoot threes, but you cannot let McGowan's drive to the basket.
You see Audis Tony, freshman from Huntsville, Alabama, out of Trinity Christian in North Carolina, making his way into Pittsburgh. This is a young man that has a great upside as well.
Well, and generally when you talk about the Pitt freshmen, you talk about Tony along with McGowan and Johnson. And all three of those young men drive the ball, they get to the line, they're good free throw shooters.
He's also, Tony is the god brother of Louisville guard Quan Ford. Very rare that you'd see that within the confines of the ACC. McMahon can't get that one to go. Talk about a sharpshooter. Ryan McMahon, youngster from Cardinal Mooney in Sarasota, Florida. He can tee it up from deep at any point. Well, a little dribble out of bounds that time by Xavier Johnson. Got a little too deep in there, and Jeff Capel not at all pleased with that.
He's trying to drive the ball, he's trying to attack, but he lost control of the ball, and what he needed to do was just stop and pass the ball back out, but he kept trying to dribble, and the result was a turnover.
Darius Perry now in the game, operating at the point. Sophomore from Marietta's Wheelers. Man, he's one of those hot and cold shooters. If he's not making them, then he becomes a defensive liability. Chris Mack knows he needs some offense right now. McGowan picks up that foul. It's his first. Almost 8 minutes gone by, and the Panthers leading by 5. Louisville really struggling to score here at the outset.
McMahon is not nearly the kind of defensive liability that he is in Chris Mack's defensive concept. They're not trying to press full court.
Right.
Trying to move your feet and stay in front of your man on the half-court level, and McMahon has done that pretty well.
He's improved in that area, no doubt. Particularly since his earliest days. He can also do this a lot better. Dribble, drive, and set up others and facilitate. When he came to Louisville, he was more of a catch-and-shoot guy. That's the second foul on McGowan.
And that's a big blow for Pitt because McGowan has been the guy penetrating to the basket, making threes. A good start for Pitt. So far, it's been the Trey McGowan show for the Pitt Panthers. He has scored 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting, including 2 of 2 from beyond the three-point arc. The problem, he's got another number sitting next to his name, and that's 2 personal fouls. And so it'll be interesting to see how the Panthers play without him, because McGowan has been super on the offensive end so far.
He's one of those kids that'll stick his nose in. In fact, he broke his nose in a collision during the first week of practice. Hasn't missed any games as a result, but he's a very active and physical talent. Question will be, can he remain patient? When you've got young players, particularly guys that are controlling the basketball, sometimes emotion can get the better of them. Louisville really struggling to score early, but they've had good looks. There's McMahon right on cue, giving us what he always delivers, and that's the 3 ball after 3 tries. He knocks one through.
And he does not need much time or room. You've got to stay right with him and force him to drive the ball. He's doing a better job driving the ball, but you'd rather have him driving it than shooting it.
There's the dump down to Terrell Brown. That turnaround goes flying off the front iron. And it's pulled down by B.J. King. King, Perry, Williams now on the deck for Louisville. That's a moving pick. Will go against Malik Williams. And that is, yes, it is Malik, and that is his first. You made a point to me earlier today, Dan, and you've already said it once tonight, and that is Malik Williams needs to get down on the block and stay there.
Well, he's trying to set a screen, and you got to be very careful as a big guy because legal screening is a point of emphasis for the officials. They're watching that really closely.
Wilson frame off the heel, run down, but last touch by McMahon, so it stays on this end of the floor.
Wilson Frame has shown during his Pitt career that he can be a very capable three-point shooter. He's shooting 38% from out there coming in, and when he has an open shot, he's not going to make them all, Tim, but for Pitt to be successful, he's got to make a high percentage.
Jeff was, job number one was to re-recruit some of the players that were here. He didn't keep them all. Wilson Frame, he did. He talked about how he felt empathy for a team that went winless in the ACC a year ago. These guys can be a part of starting something new, part of the solution. And to this point, Wilson Frame has done his job. There's a strong move to the hoop. Everything but the finish, and he even claims an offensive rebound, and he'll be fouled.
Maybe the most amazing thing about that is he got back in bounds before he went and got the ball.
McMahon gets the personal.
That's a good move by Wilson Frame. You're not scoring from beyond the three-point arc, so get closer. Drives the ball to the basket, and then doesn't give up on it. He comes right back in bounds. I think McMahon was surprised that he was there.
Yeah.
I don't think McMahon ever saw him. He was swiping at the ball, and he hit Wilson Frame.
Oh, they went to sleep. Tony lost it, though. I think he had his eyes on going up with it as he was trying to receive it and turned it over.
The problem was they threw the ball at his toes, and that doesn't really help very much. And they threw it to him in the middle of three guys. Now, you don't want to throw the ball into trouble, and that's exactly what Pitt did.
Williams goes reversal and one. Counted in the foul.
As I said, Tim, that's what he needs to do. He's very quick around the basket. And he needs to take advantage of the fact that they really can't guard him down in there. Just goes right by Terrell Brown. Brown was okay as long as their bodies were banging against one another, but as soon as Malik Williams created some space, he went right by Terrell Brown.
Here's another problem. You got both now your guards, McGowans and Johnson, each with two, Dan. And they're already in the bonus, Louisville now. That's the 7th team foul against Pitt with 10-plus minutes remaining in the opening half.
Now the officials conferring there to make sure of who committed the foul.
It was Xavier Johnson. And the old-fashioned three-point play for Williams. This is now a 6-point run as Louisville trailed at 15-10 and 6 unanswered for them now. Johnson with the dribble drive, leaves it on the wing, and a little rainbow J from Cameron Davis. And for the sophomore, that's his 6th three-pointer this season in 20 tries.
He's a guy with a reputation as being able to shoot the three. He's been cold from out there.
Williams can't connect. I love the effort by the 15. Yep.
Get down inside. Now, I know he's very versatile, and he can score from out there, but you don't need to try that tonight. Get down inside. Take advantage of what the situation offers.
Xavier Johnson relentlessly attacking the 10, and in so doing, we'll get to the free throw line as Malik Williams picks up his second.
We talked about Trey McGowans and his ability to drive the ball to the basket. Well, Johnson is somebody who's trying to get in there, too, and that time they cut him off and kick it to the corner to Cameron Davis. We mentioned Davis has the reputation of being a very good three-point shooter who has not shot it well so far this year.
Against North Carolina over the weekend, you were here for that game, Danny, at 14. A 14th straight double-figure scoring game for him. Extended the Pitt freshman record.
Well, he just made his 67th free throw of the season.
Wow. You can tell that he's going to force the defense to move and perhaps force the officials to blow the whistle. And that's that kind of toughness in the backcourt that Jeff Capel wants. Pitt by 4. They've answered a 6-point run from Louisville with 4 of their own. Koya Gow On the deck now, going mano-a-mano against Chukwuka. Has it rejected.
Nice help by Davis.
That's a tough alley-oop. He went against McMahon on the mismatch. And a whistle and a foul underneath again against the Cardinals. This one against DJ King.
Pitt is a much improved defensive team, and McCoy, guys, too many dribbles for the big guy inside. The defense is going to come and help. Cameron Davis did. I think Chukwuka may have gotten a hand on the ball as well. If you're the big guy down inside and you can't do it with 2 dribbles, you got to pass the ball.
Aldis Toney at the free throw line. Well, our coverage of ACC basketball is broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marine stationed around the world. We're so proud to have you with us. We're one of those having you with us all the way through the ACC Tournament Championship. One of our closest friends has a man serving our country, and that would be Dan Bonner's son. I know that thought is near and dear to your heart. Wara. Not there. Off the front iron. And Pitt wastes no time getting down the floor. Pretty wise choice by the freshman McGowans. Feeling a gow on his hip. He was able to induce that foul by slowing down.
You can understand what an important stretch of the game this is, since Jeff Capel has McGowans with those 2 fouls back in the game, and you're relying at this point on one of your freshmen to make really good decisions.
You see the numbers on Trey and what he's done at the free throw line.
And 10 out of 16 against North Carolina. He's a much better free throw shooter than that, although he just missed that.
By the way, Louisville has already gotten Pitt into the bonus. That was their 17 foul. Cunningham. Now you got to guard him. Kristen just moved away from the defense and made it happen.
He shoots well over 40% from beyond the arc. Doesn't take a lot of shots, but usually they're open shots and he converts a high percentage.
They'll stop and go. And yet again, McGowans and Jackson just forcing the issue.
Right, see, that is a problem for McGowans. You know, generally, Tim, if you're a player with 2 personal fouls, you can be careful on the defensive end, but a guy like McGowans also has to be a little bit careful on the offensive end so that he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul with a charge.
By the way, Dan, this is one of the rare occasions when we have a pair of assistant coaches that were each broadcasting games this time a year ago. Dino Gaudio, former Wake Forest head coach, has become sort of the lieutenant, if you will, for Chris Mack. It's good to see him back in the ACC and coaching again. And Jason Cable, of course, was working with us just a year ago at the ACC tournament.
Dino is such a great guy, and he and Chris Mack were assistants together at Wake Forest and assistants together at Xavier. They've got a great personal relationship.
Gal lost it out of bounds. Yeah, I was talking to Dino prior to the Seton Hall game back in November, and he said, you know, there weren't many places I wanted to work again, but I did want to work at a place like Louisville with Chris Mack called. 8th turnover for Louisville. They trail by 3. A profile of the former Xavier star and coach Chris Mack from 88 to 90, the Cincinnati Post Player of the Year at St. Xavier High School in Ohio. Went on to Evansville, 89 champion there under Jim Cruz. Then went on to Xavier as a player, coached under Pete Gillen, a 2-time captain of that team, and then began his own coaching career as Cincinnati Macaulay's high school JV girls coach in 93, something you can identify with. His wife, Christy, 1996 Kentucky Miss Basketball runner-up at Holy Cross High School in Louisville, went on to play Dayton and is in the Hall of Fame. And you, as a former women's coach at UVA, can identify with that. And a wife that also was an outstanding star player.
Here Louisville showing a little bit of a zone defense. Again, they're trying to cut down on that Pitt penetration to the basket. The Panthers have had great success getting into the lane.
McGowans. Not there. Pulled down strongly by Jordan Morris.
And again, McGowans comes in as only a 32% three-point shooter. I think that's where you want him shooting the ball, not driving it to the basket. Well, that's some move right there.
It really is. And a total mismatch. All they can do, really, Chukwuka picks up the foul. It's his second. You're doing the best you can to keep him in front of you. That's a difficult task with that many moves.
Oh, it's a tremendous spin move. He gets the ball. Tony's in a pretty good defensive position, but he just takes the ball to the baseline and then spins back into the lane. And Chukwuka can't get himself separated from Enoch and just runs into him.
Wara coming off an outstanding performance in the win over Miami on Sunday at 20 points, 8 of 16 from the floor in that game. Looking for that elusive one at the free throw line, and he gets it.
And we talked about how he has exceeded expectations this year. You saw he's got the biggest scoring average improvement among any player in the ACC so far.
Pitt won for their last 5 on this end of the floor. Very important that they maintain contact with Louisville. Boy, Wilson Frame really struggling from the perimeter, and again a long rebound. But Warren gathers a poor pass, but it was saved beautifully by Darius Berry. That's a reach-in foul committed by Cameron Davis.
No, they called that foul on Xavier Johnson.
They got Johnson instead of Davis. Wow.
They got Johnson as he was going by.
I think Davis was trying to sell it himself as the guilty party, but that is a bad one on Johnson.
He put his hand up and said it was me. Now the officials are going to go over and look.
I thought it was Cameron Davis.
That's one of the things they're allowed to use the monitor for, is to make sure who the foul was on.
They kept it with Johnson. That's 3.
See, that's the kind of thing you just have to understand. You've got 2 fouls. You just cannot reach in that situation.
That is a tough break. That means it's going to be tough for McGowens and Johnson to be on the floor at the same time, which really limits what Pitt can do offensively.
But you just have to hope, if you're Pitt, that McGowens can stay on the floor, because remember, he has 2 personal fouls as well.
No question. Well, when you're outmanned or undermanned and lean in your front line, you're going to get into foul difficulty many times over. And this is a Pitt team that generally plays 7 guys.
Boy, Louisville, they get out there and it's their own defense, and they put their arms out. Doesn't look like there's any place to pass the ball. It's a long-armed guys out there. And Wara playing at the top, so it's hard to throw the ball over.
You know, you look at Malik Williams and Wara and Stephen Enoch. These are quintessential Louisville players, guys that have the size, sort of that power forward and small forward look so many through the years have had of that tradition-rich program. Sutton, a stop and go. Beautiful dive drop. And the slam missed, but he's going to stay with it. He and Enoch were like human pogo sticks down there, and eventually a foul committed underneath by Davis, and that's number 1 on Cameron.
Really a nice move by Sutton to get the ball into the lane, and they just can't score it. But good battle by Pittsburgh in a really tough situation. Lots of times if you don't get that first rebound, securing the ball when the other team's playing volleyball under there is really hard, and the Panthers just couldn't do it.
Yeah, Chukwuka did all he could with his body to make sure that slam dunk, and he didn't become posterized. But eventually the foul was committed by Davis.
And this is a Louisville team. We talked about the fact that they attack. They're one of those teams, they've made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. They get over 25% of their points from the free throw line. So they are very adept at drawing the foul simply because they play so hard and so aggressively.
That was the 10th team foul. There's a follow by Warren. He's rejected. Out of bounds, last touch by Pitt. But the 10th team foul means double bonus the rest of the way for the Cardinals as the fouls mount against Jeff Capel's team. This is the 4th tie. We've had 6 lead changes. Actually, it's the 6th lead change that just took place after that free throw. So 23-22. Cunningham left free. That's twice they've left him alone. He converted 1. McGowens working with give and go. Over to Tony, not there.
And again, that's an open shot. These Tony's the 24% three-point shooter.
Sutton end to end.
And when you
Pitt down the floor.
And when you take a bad shot on offense, that really helps Louisville get going. So Pitt is contributing to their own woes right here. Sutton does a really nice job recognizing who's behind him, letting that guy fly by, and then just attacking the basket.
Timeout with 5:50 remaining. And here is a message from CPI Security.
Get the best security and smart home solutions all in one app from CPI Security, the official security partner of ACC basketball.
Louisville is hardly playing their best, and yet their size and strength and ability to get up and down the floor has them leading by one, Dan.
Tim, they're not scoring a lot of points. They don't look really fluid on offense, but I would say that's more the result. This is conference play, and this is a very aggressive, very solid defensive team that they're facing in the University of Pittsburgh.
Our road to the tournament is brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. And you see Louisville's numbers. They could probably be 12-2 instead of 10-4. They dropped a couple of games and defeated number 9 Michigan State. Also a road win at Seton Hall, as I mentioned.
And you can see there they've got 9 games remaining against teams in the top 15. That's what you call opportunity as they build their resume.
Well, those 2 losses that they felt they could have had were at Indiana and against Marquette. Game against the Hoosiers they had control of for quite some time in Bloomington. Just could not finish it off. They could easily be ranked right now. McGowan's the Wilson frame. He's been struggling from the perimeter. Was trying to drive baseline before caught him up. What a pass! That was a thing of beauty. Bounce pass entry to Auguste Tony. And we're tied.
The Louisville zone just lost track of Tony, and he found an open spot. Great play by Wilson Frame to find him.
Cunningham, teardrop, won't go. McGowan pulls down the board, and oh, by the way, foul. One that you really don't like to give away by Stephen Enoch. Youngster from Norwalk, Connecticut, a transfer from UConn. That is now his 3rd personal foul. So that kind of giveaway is one that really hurts before the break.
Yeah, it does, but the one thing that Louisville has, they generally play a lineup with basically 4 perimeter guys and 1 inside guy, and so Williams and Enoch are the 2 main inside guys, but now Okoye Gao is able to come in the game. There's not many teams that can go that deep in that particular position.
No question. You know, you mentioned this earlier today to Chris. He really did bolster his roster upon getting this job with transfers that have paid big dividends.
Absolutely. Graduate transfers are a big part of the game today, and Louisville has some good ones.
McMahon's pass was knocked away inside by Terrell Brown. He was trying to get it to Corey Dow. Corey Dow was in position, but quick hands of Brown knocked it away.
McGow was there, but can't throw the ball through. Warren. That's a tough shot. Got to move the ball a little bit. Panthers were playing zone.
McGowan's fouled by a Dow.
And that was not a good shot. McGowan's took the ball in there, jumped up in the air. He was really stuck. And McGowan bailed him out with the foul. You just keep your hands up and go get the rebound.
That first ACC game Jeff Capel was talking to us about, it's North Carolina, places jumping. You got young players like Xavier Johnson and Trey McGowan's. And, you know, he said, you know, we played hard, but we didn't necessarily play smart. And that's part of the equation with a program that you're trying to build from the ground up.
Well, and the other thing is, when you get your best free throw shooters to the free throw line, you got to make free throws. The Panthers only 5 of 11 so far in the game today.
Make it 6 of 12.
And it's been their good free throw shooters have been at the line.
They have been.
Now here the Panthers with some pressure.
2-2-1 zone variety.
And again, if you're McGowan, you have to be very careful. You don't want to be reaching and grabbing. Panthers in the zone.
McGowan, boy, what a poor pass that was. Trying to sandwich that one through 3 Panthers. They got fortunate with the ball being knocked away last touch by Pitt.
You know, Gao was 6 feet from the basket. When you get into that spot, you either shoot it where you pass the ball back out. Louisville very fortunate to keep the ball.
Cunningham triggers it into a gap. Wara, that's an offensive foul. Great work by McGowens with 2 fouls.
A very risky play by McGowens, but that's what McGowens does. He takes charges. That's the 13th time that he has taken a charge this year. Just doing a great job moving his feet, getting in front of Wara. Wara hadn't scored today.
We've had 22 fouls combined between these two teams. Wilson Frame finally gets one to fall. Nothing but nylon. A loose water bottle got onto the floor. I don't think anyone threw it. It was just accidentally kicked.
What, it walked out there?
Yeah, well, it was actually kicked.
Okay.
By an exuberant fan.
An exuberant fan.
Exuberant fan who no doubt is a quality donor to the Pittsburgh. He's got a seat right next to us. It's now a 6-0 run for Pitt. Louisville has won for their last 11 from the floor. Got to credit the Panthers' defense. It's been 5 minutes since they've had a field goal. So some drought. Wilson Frame with a rebound.
And they're not getting good shots. There's very little ball movement.
All the way. Wilson had that one framed up.
That was a tough shot.
He knew he was taking it up, though, from the moment he claimed the rebound. The lead is 6. Offensive glass. Rejected by Terrell Brown. 9 straight missed by Louisville. Goes inside for the deuce.
McGowens, even with 2 personal fouls, continues to put on a show. Avoids the charge, takes the hit, makes the basket. Wow.
32-24, Pitt with the lead by 8. And the freshmen of some influence that are on display here tonight, Dan.
Well, the amazing thing about this Pitt run is that it's been done without Xavier Johnson, their leading scorer. He's on the bench with 3 personal fouls, but Trey McGowens has really stepped it up. He has got 14 points so far tonight. And Adis Toney, he has put 4 up on the board along with a couple of rebounds.
Here's a guaranteed graphic that I'm going to tease you for in the second half.
Okay, I'm very excited.
Rob Reichley, our producer, and in fact executive producer of Raycom Sports, will be busily putting together this graphic in the second half. Foul difficulty. All right, Pittsburgh's got Johnson with 3, McGowens, Ellison, and Chukwuka with 2. Enoch has 3 with Agal, Williams, and Wara, each with 2 for Louisville. So both teams, provided this game is close down the stretch, are going to have to really deal with some attrition potentially. McMahon can't get that one to go, and there's a push underneath, spotted by Brian Dorsey.
Now that's Wilson Frame that time, and Pitt has been doing a great job really battling on the defensive boards. Louisville with a much smaller lineup in the game now, Tim, because of the foul trouble you just referenced.
Well, coming up on the Hardee's halftime report, we'll take a look at what the media was thinking in preseason about the ACC teams for the season, players, where they should stack up, first team and second team, and the comparisons that we've seen so far to this early season in 2019, plus highlights and analysis all on the Hardee's halftime report.
Really important last 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the half here for the Panthers. They've played very well here over the last couple of minutes. They have to keep that going.
McGowens took an extra step, trying to split that double team after he had taken the step along the baseline.
Well, what you have to do if you're the Panthers, when McGowens drives, you can't stand there and watch him, figure he's going to take it to the basket. You go put yourself in a spot where if he has to stop, he can turn around and find you, and that didn't happen that time.
Louisville, their last 7 points coming at the free throw line. Their last field goal, Dan, was at the 8:31 mark. That is some drought. Wara with a ball fake and a beauty. Just can't buy one now. Rebound finally claimed by Terrell Brown.
I'm not sure that that ball fake was necessary. War is an outstanding three-point shooter. He had a wide open three. I don't see any reason to pass up the three there and then shoot one that's just a couple of feet shorter.
Tony did a nice job of recovering his dribble right there. McGowan's, look at that launch point. Ooh, the bank almost open late, man. It was almost open late in Pittsburgh. And the long drought ends as DJ King gets a little shooter's touch. And it's 33-28.
King is one of the guys who maybe hasn't played as well as people thought he might play this year. A returning starter who's now a bench player. And he's come in the game and given Louisville a lift with a couple of free throws and now a field goal.
After such a cold shooting period, for Louisville to be only down 5, Pitt really needs to stay strong in these closing moments as McGowan's again gets a beautiful lane to the bucket. He's got 17. My point being, if you played this well and Louisville struggled, you want to have a nice healthy lead at the break if you're Pitt. Cardinals cannot struggle much more than they have in the second half than they have in the first. There's another turnover. That's 10 committed by Louisville.
Louisville only averages just under 12, 11.9 turnovers a game, so 10 turnovers in the first half is really excessive.
Yeah, I don't know that they can play much worse. And they're down by 7. You see the 5-second shot clock to game clock differential. You think it's going up? I do. Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. Hello. How do you do? Trey McGowan has 20. Warrock. A standing O from the crowd in Pittsburgh. Pretty good first half for the home team.
By the Panthers, they had their own struggles shooting the ball early, but Trey McGowan's got it going, driving the ball to the basket, and I think the Pitt defense keyed the end of the half.
Looking for that first victory for Jeff Capel's era here at Pitt. At halftime, it's a 10-point Pitt lead. Last year's ACC tournament, we had Jason doing interviews, and he actually looked at Jeff and said, "Well, Coach," and Jeff started laughing at him. The moment he referred to him as Coach. That's a nice little cut and slip to open the second half by Kristen Cunningham to make it 38-30 as we open play.
I think that's one of the things that Louisville has to do. They got to get more movement without the ball, get the ball inside, better shots. And Warren's low total on the year, Tim, is 9 points, and he's got 3 at halftime. That many field goals.
McGowan's high arching off the window. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Just enough air underneath the leather to get that one to fall off the glass.
And Chris Madden has to be disgusted. You know they talked at halftime about keeping McGowan's out of the lane.
He's going to live at the free throw line if they don't cut him off, that's to be sure. Strong move by Williams leads to a foul against Terrell Brown.
They better hope it's Terrell Brown and not Xavier Johnson. Xavier Johnson was down there reaching in.
Yeah, he's got to be careful.
But the foul is on Brown. But what you see from Louisville to start the second half, the backdoor cut for a layup and now inside to Malik Williams to try to utilize that advantage that they possess on the interior.
Williams had 19 in the win over Miami, 8 of 14 from the floor and 11 rebounds. Second career double-double. He had 10-13 against Lipscomb-Beck.
Well, he had 5 points and 3 rebounds in the first half, Tim, even though he was limited to just 8 minutes because of foul trouble.
Well, against Lipscomb, he had 10 and 13. They're going to need more from him. Laura needs some help in terms of offensive scoring punch down there. McGowan's just can't stop. He is absolutely on fire. 43-32. Look at that defensive help by McGowan's. Jackson runs it down. That's a career high for McGowan's, remember, 25. And answer. Bates in the fray. They lead by a baker's dozen with 90 seconds gone. Timeout, Louisville. It's not sold out, but it is loud. Students are back, and they're being heard from. 45-32. Chris Mack forced to call a timeout. Just over a minute and a half into this second half. And McGowan's has been putting on a show. He had 14 straight points before Johnson's layup. And he had a streak of 10 straight points for Pitt in the first half. Juan Four looking for some help. Shot clock down to 5. Strong move in traffic. And what an acrobatic maneuver by Cunningham as he takes it in and uses the glass. And Wilson Ford picks up the foul his second.
One of the things that the folks from Louisville told us is that when they need some stability, Cunningham is the guy who has been providing it. That is an acrobatic shot with the left hand. Now Louisville, they trailed Miami by 15, but that was in the first half. They trailed Seton Hall by 9 in the second half. So now they've cut it back to 10. They've got the work cut out to them.
By the way, Cunningham, the transfer from Samford, that's the Samford in Alabama, has really been helping this program out in a very short time here for Matt. Warren, into it. Oh, how good was that? Up and under Terrell Brown.
That's the kind of offensive ability that he possesses, and that time in transition, and that will help Louisville if they can get out a little bit more in transition, particularly based on their defense.
Well, McGowan's.
That's 3.
Yeah, he was rejected, and I think it was just a bang-bang reaction on his part. A frustration foul, and that's number 3 on him.
Well, Warren is able to get out in transition off the block shot, and that's just an outstanding move to the basket.
That's almost unfair. It's like Stacey Augman Plastic Man stuff. 45-37. Pull out one from back in the day at UNLV. Later the Atlanta Hawks. That's a moving pick on Williams. That's twice he's gotten called with that. Absolute third foul.
And again, Tim, that all season long, that has been a point of emphasis for officials, trying to clean up the illegal screening. So when you're a big guy and you set a screen, you have to make sure that you get stopped, and you have to make sure that you give that defensive player enough time to get around.
Remember, Xavier Johnson and McGowan both playing with 3 fouls now. Just over 3 minutes gone here in the second half. They got to be careful. Up and under for Tony. And the tip by Brown.
That's generally what happens. You get somebody driving to the basket. Defenders try to block the shot. If you follow the ball, you have a chance for a tip in, and that's exactly what Terrell Brown did.
That's the first bucket for the sophomore from Providence, Rhode Island. Out of bounds, knocked away by Terrell. Tell you,
Malik Williams needs to do a better job establishing position down closer to the block. He's too far out in the corner. It's hard to make a maneuver with your back to the basket if you're 8 feet from the basket. Get down on the block.
Louisville came out, Dan, with more energy, no question. But Pitt has answered that challenge in spades, even here in the second half.
But again, we pointed it out. Both Johnson and McGowan's have 3 personal fouls.
Look at that! Just look at that! Goes to the off end. It's 49-37. 8 in the game for Xavier Johnson.
Even if you pick up a blocking foul, somebody's got to step in and try to take a charge against those guys.
That ball deflected by Johnson. Ever present, so active. Boy, he wants toughness. That's what Jeff Capel is preaching. He's also talking about commitment. Boy, is he getting it. How about this?
These guys drive the ball to the basket very effectively. They haven't been stopped tonight.
Our score 49-37. Pittsburgh with the lead. Know Your Score is brought to you by Linden Tree. So let's go around the the ACC. Virginia Tech struggled tonight, but they did come away with a win against Georgia Tech. You and I next Tuesday will see them at Virginia in that rivalry game. Syracuse up on Clemson, a game others are seeing. And speaking of Virginia, they have a first half lead of 6 against Boston College, a much improved BC team. And Miami and Florida State, little sunshine battle just underway.
An important game for Florida State. They really got blasted by Virginia, but that was on the road. It's tough to play on the road in this conference, as Louisville is finding out right now.
No doubt.
With the foul trouble, the Panthers dropping back into a zone here for this possession.
And McMahon into the game to bolster some scoring punch from deep, but right away a turnover. Xavier Johnson saves what was a pass behind his shoulder. He was able to make the adjustment, and now they'll set up shop.
Well, McMahon had the right idea, but Warren didn't go where he should have gone, and the result was a turnover. And if you're Louisville, you got to have somebody besides McGowan beat you. Make somebody else shoot the ball.
Xavier Johnson will do it.
And maybe somebody besides him.
Well, those two, which we documented at the outset of the game, have certainly lived up to our advanced billing.
Well, they've got 35 and 51 Pitt points.
Good ball movement in that sequence for Louisville. But coming up empty is Sutton. Boy, they really need Enoch and Sutton to get in the flow here in the second half. Johnson, that was a poor pass. No doubt, Brown was not looking for it. And on the other end, boy, a lot of contact. Warren wanted a foul, didn't get it.
Look out.
McGowan's. Yes!
Tim, you hear the expression sometimes, that guy's making everything. But it's true, McGowan is making everything from every angle. That is a tough shot, and he makes it and draws the foul. This is the one thing he's done very poorly tonight, and that is shoot free throws.
And you're right, he's an outstanding free throw shooter normally.
He's now 3 for 8 from the free throw line.
27 points, and in case you were wondering, the freshman record at Pitt, Clyde Vaughn back in 1980. As you see that slam on the other end for Stephen Enoch. We mentioned Enoch needs to play at a higher level, so does Dwayne Sutton. And Enoch now with his first bucket, 53-39. Think about that. They got to go all the way back to 1980 for a freshman. Clyde Vaughn with a career high at Pittsburgh, 29 points. And this young man's got 27 with 14 minutes left.
Well, I think the key there, Tim, is there are 14 minutes left. So Louisville has plenty of time. They need to tighten up on the defensive end, and they need to get more going offensively. They need to get better shots. Particularly, they need to have more involved.
McGowan's that rainbow this time goes crying off the front iron.
Now here's where you push if you're Louisville. Panthers in the man-to-man.
Sutton driving it in and picking up the foul against Audis Tony.
Now, Tim, he picked up the foul right there, but I thought he should have held the ball just a beat longer to allow Enoch to get position inside. There was no help down on the inside. If he can get the ball to Enoch on that occasion, I think it's an easy score.
Malik Ellison checks into the game, replacing Jared Wilson-Frame for Pitt. Cunningham triggers it in, and it leads to a wide-open three from Darius Perry. And this kid can also warm it up. Has struggled of late, though. He's not been on his game in recent weeks.
Yeah, but he's a guy who's got to play with confidence, and maybe making that three will get him some confidence.
Johnson, not this time. An air ball and a pull-up. Lead down to 11. It was 116. Cunningham. Now, that's a little return to sender as the Louisville guards start doing impressions of McGowan's and Johnson driving to the 10.
Panthers did not do a good job getting back on defense that time. And Louisville doing a great job attacking in transition.
That's 3 unanswered hoops for Louisville. Johnson. What a baseline drive. Everything but the finish.
And the finish is the key thing, Tim. So Pitt has now missed a couple in a row.
He just short-armed that one a little. That's an air ball. And over get the call on Chukwuka, who was rooting out yet again, trying to post up, and in essence pushed Steven Eno. So he gets the foul, his third. Wilson Frame checks in that quickly for McGowan's. And massaging minutes here now for Jeff Capel as a head coach. You know, when you've been an assistant for a number of years, 7 years away from his time as a head coach at Oklahoma, got a lot more responsibilities that come your way. He learned a great deal in that time that he spent sitting next to Mike Krzyzewski, but he's really working overtime tonight in massaging minutes because of foul difficulty to his two best players. Right now he's giving McGowan's a brief blow before the TV timeout, which comes up at the 12-minute mark. Cunningham, another dribble drive. Straight line variety. Too many steps.
That's good defensive help that time by Chukwuka. Really good move by Cunningham, though. He sees Xavier Johnson guarding him. He has the opportunity to go by, but he just lost his balance on the inside. And again, when one of the players drives, when one of the partners drives, the other guys have to get in position to receive a pass.
Wilson Frame.
That'll help.
Xavier Johnson set that one up with the dribble drive and the kick out. And away from the ball, another foul goes against Chukwuka. That's his fourth. Well, he's had all kinds of foul difficulty throughout his career. He started 13 games in his first season as a Division I player, but he had 79 fouls. That's a team high. Here's Wilson Frame with that beauty.
But that's a great job by Wilson Frame to not stand there and watch his teammate drive the ball to the basket, but get himself in position to take a return pass and score.
Sutton over Ellison. And he gets going with Enoch. It's game on. 56-46, 8 minutes gone here in the second. Tim Brando, Dan Bonner with you here at the Zoo, Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh.
That's a good job by Perry to cut him off.
Enoch with the show. Wilson Frame gives it up. Shot clock down to 5. This is the right guy to have it, though. Xavier Johnson, a fadeaway. Enoch, the rebound, clears his defense to Cunningham. End to end. Oh my! What a shot!
With Cunningham, you see his strength. Of course, his speed, he gets the ball quickly to the basket, but then his strength, even against contact and defense, he can get it up into the goal.
12 for Cunningham, 9 this half. Johnson, yes and one. I mean, he just won't be outdone. Well, either he or McGowan.
He saw a lane that you could drive a truck through. Tim, and he went right to it. That's Pitt continues to hold the lead.
And you flex at both of those guys when you see them. I know Mike Kaminsky feels that way.
Well, they're institutions here in Pittsburgh.
And, of course, Dick Grote, the first to have his jersey retired in the rafters in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
So how good an athlete was he?
Unbelievable. And by the way, as a kid growing up, I remember that Pittsburgh Pirate team, 1960, and those that followed. Incredible, wonderful guys, both of them. Enoch gets that one to fall.
Louisville does not need to panic. They don't need to, try to make great plays on defense, try for steals. They just need to play solid defensively.
Johnson, hang time, and he draws the foul inside. Well, these two guys are just playing out of their minds tonight, and they have to for Pittsburgh to have any chance at all. Darius Perry got the foul, his first, and Xavier Johnson to the free throw line.
Johnson has demonstrated, along with McGowan, such explosiveness. He sees a lane, and he's gone. Louisville very slow rotating over, and again, Pittsburgh continues to struggle from the free throw line. They're now 7 of 15 from the line.
Now you see the games we got coming up this weekend, either Virginia, Clemson, Pitt at NC State. Check your listings for the game in your area or check the ACC.com for affiliate information. An outstanding array of games when you have so many teams ranked, such a highly competitive and tradition-rich league. You're going to love it. 10.5 remaining and a 10-point lead now for the underdog Pitt Panthers. Perry in traffic.
Now that's a break there.
It is.
Because Enoch was open. Enoch was battling on the inside. He was in the lane, in the colored area of the lane. All he had to do was get the ball. I think he has the layup, but Perry elected to drive it to the basket, so he's going to go to the free throw line to earn this.
Wilson Frame also gets the foul, and he joins a large group at 3+ fouls on the floor for Pittsburgh. And that group includes Johnson and McGowan, notably.
But the point that I was making before, Louisville still has time to take the ball and punch it inside on offense. You don't have to go shoot wild threes. You don't have to have a great press. You just play solidly on the defensive end, rebound the ball, push it up the court, and get it inside.
Adis Toney checks in for Malik Ellison. By the way, Perry, coming out of the doldrums a bit, he had a season-low 4 minutes played in that victory against Miami. So some much-needed time for him, helping his Louisville team as Warren comes away with that rebound. And Louisville tries to cut it to within 6 or 5 on this possession.
It would greatly help the Louisville cause if Warren could get himself involved on the offensive end.
And Chris Mack wants, did he see something? A little something going on? No foul call, maybe a little, we have a little blood here? I'm curious as to why the stoppage in play took place. See what happened here.
Well, out on the left-hand portion of the screen.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there
right, now, see, what they're looking at is they're looking to see if they got their arms locked.
Yeah. Adis Toney got locked up there. And anytime you see anything near an elbow near the
Tim, I don't think that's what it is. No, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's whether it was locked, the arms got locked together, the hook and hold.
Which is another point of emphasis this year. Well, here's another message from CPI Security.
Get the best security and smart home solutions all in one app from CPI Security, the official security partner of ACC basketball.
Give me your thoughts on this, Dan.
Well, it's in the right-hand part of your screen, and look at the guy's arms. The left arm of Wara, the right arm of Toney. Did Toney put his arm through Wara's arm and lock him up? That's the question. Is that one of those hook and hold plays?
And Wara was a little dramatic here as you see him pull back. You'll see the dramatics there.
Well, the left arm of Wara, the right arm of Toney is what we're looking at. And if they decided that was a hook and hold play against either one of those players, then it's hard for me to see who hooked whom. But the player who commits that foul could be charged with a flagrant 1 foul. And if that is a flagrant 1 foul against Pittsburgh, then that could really turn the game around because the flagrant 1 is 2 shots on the ball.
No question. It could be a huge break for Louisville.
And obviously the officials are considering this because Brian Dorsey looked at it with Kip Kitchener, and now he has called Don Daly over to take a look. And is it just, a basketball play, two guys just sort of close to one another, or is it a hook and hold?
Well, I just read the lips of Chris Mack, and he said no way. So whatever he was informed by Kip Kitchener was not to his liking. And here comes another message. And Don Daly's making his way over to us. So a common foul, it appears, is going to be the call on Chukwuka. So War is going to be called with a hook and pull. So a flagrant 1 will go on Louisville after a common foul goes against Chukwuka. Dan, you talked with...
Well, that was actually Toney out there.
Was it Toney? Excuse me.
Yeah, it was number 5.
5 and War.
And Chukwuka, he should really be in trouble if he got a foul over on the bench.
So it was Toney. Yeah,
so Toney gets the foul, and then they also called Wara for grabbing him by the arm and pulling it down. So it's very interesting. Wara is going to go to the free throw line to shoot the common foul.
And that's why Chris Mack said no way.
And that was a 1-and-1, and so he just missed it. And now what's going to happen is Tony is going to go down and shoot the flagrant foul. It's a flagrant one. So Wara just missed it, so now Tony has the opportunity to get 2 shots, and then Pittsburgh will get the ball. Boy, that was, I haven't seen that one.
Nor have I.
You know, I've seen the hook and hold called a number of times, but that's the first time I've seen the play called where
there was one common foul on one guy
and the hook and hold on the other.
Right. Well, to your point, the question would be who's hooking whom, and what we found out was both were violating, but one to a greater degree.
Well, it was a push against Tony, and then at the end of the push, they ruled that Wara got his arm in there and clamped down on the arm of Tony, and by rule, that is a flagrant 1 foul.
Because both have struggled as a team from the free throw line. No harm done from a score standpoint. But the good news for Pitt,
well, the bottom line on this is nobody scored. It's basically a turnover by Louisville.
Yeah, it's a wash. Johnson with the dish. Wilson Frame is fouled underneath. So Xavier Johnson playing the role of facilitator there. That foul against Enoch, and that's number 4 on him.
Well, Johnson is a guy who drives to score, but when he's cut off, he can find open players, and this is a really good job by Gerald Wilson Frame. He was under the basket, but somehow he got himself into shooting position. And that's 3 free throws in a row that Pitt has missed.
Well, he was 9
so they're what, about 7 of 18 from the free throw line?
He was 9 of 11 on the season individually before missing that one. They are now 9 of 20 as a team tonight.
9 of 20.
They get 10 of 21.
10 of 21. Good boy.
Their lead is 9 with 9 and change remaining in our game. There's the free throw shooting story, a struggle for the homestanding Panthers. Enoch playing with 4 fouls, takes it right at Terrell Brown, and will get to the free throw line as a result.
Enoch has some room to turn into the lane since the guards, Wilson Frame, McGowans, and Johnson from the Pitt Panthers cannot really reach down there to help out because they risk getting the foul. So if you can get the ball inside to Enoch, he pretty much is going to be able to play one-on-one.
14 of 18 as a team now at the free throw strike for Louisville. Enoch's an outstanding free throw shooter on the year, 86%.
Well, Louisville as a team is an outstanding free throw shooter.
Just as we said that, of course, you know the rest of that. And it's out of bounds off Pitt. You can see how upset the young players for Pitt are.
And Tim, I think that's a very good comment. The young players from Pitt cannot be upset.
That's right.
Okay, the ball went out of bounds. Next play.
Yeah, Jeff Capel is quickly, hey fellas, play on, carry on. And they're trying to build a foundation. That can be tough. That's a rejection by Brown. Out to McGowan. That all started with McMahon being rejected, and McGowan's has now tied the all-time freshman record set by Law back in 1980 with 29 points. Clyde Vaughn in 1980 had 29, and so does McGowan's now. Wara. Whoa, what a shot. He hit that one from almost the eye and hit. 63-56.
Let's see if that gets Wara going. He was 0 for 5 from beyond the arc before that.
What a pass. A no-look. Tony can't hit. Boy, Johnson threaded the needle. Got a little Mahomes action on that one. Looked the other way and threw another. And there's another blow-by by Cunningham. And the Cardinals have carved into this lead. It's down to 5.
Cunningham's really been solid.
Johnson in traffic, takes steps. And you can feel the anxiety now for the Panthers and for their head coach.
Terrell Brown with his 4th block shot, and that allows McGowan to get out. A really nice pass. As you mentioned, now it's 29 for McGowan. The ball just bounces right up to him. An excellent pass. Ball started, though, with the 4th block shot from Terrell Brown.
Louisville has made their run, though. They've cut it to 5. Cunningham. Boy, he found an avenue, and of course McGowan's, with foul difficulty, could not cut him off.
He's driving by guys who have foul trouble.
That's 16 for him, 13 in this half. You see the young freshman being talked to by his coach, Tim Capel knows they've got a D up. We'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. Beautiful evening here inside on what is a blustery night outside in Pittsburgh, but it is picking up big time. And you see Brown, who's saddled with the 4 fouls, getting a little bit of a break while his team is on defense out of the timeout. The lead has shrunk from what was once 16 down to 7.
Pitt has done a nice job changing defenses. They've shown mostly man-to-man, but a little bit of zone. Now they've dropped back into the zone after some pressure. Again, though, Louisville needs to get the ball inside.
Enoch can be very effective there. Chukwuka's about 4-2 now, and there's little he can do to stop that.
If they can get the ball to Enoch in the lane area, you are correct. There's little Pitt can do to stop it. Because everybody out on the court for Pitt, with the exception of Ellison, has 4 personal fouls.
Johnson and McGowan's both on the floor. What a pass! Johnson! This time Chukwuka! Boy, you talk about dropping dimes. I mean, there's at least a buck's worth down there on that baseline for Johnson of late.
That's Chukwuka's first field goal attempt of the game.
I mean, just a magnificent pass by Johnson. Lead back to 7 with 2.5 left. Oh, Chukwuka fell as he was, Malik Ellison fell. He was trying to get to that pass for McMahon.
Well, we talked about Johnson and his scoring, but that's just an outstanding pass. Wara, I don't know where he's going. Chukwuka is right next to the basket. You don't leave the guy right next to the basket.
I'll tell you, Xavier Johnson is getting the ball to the right guys, and he's doing it in a variety of ways.
Right, Enoch's got to get the ball out, and then Enoch's going to go down inside, and they're going to throw the ball to Enoch.
Shot clock down to 3. Cunningham's the right guy. He's the right guy. He's wearing number 1 for a reason. 79-74.
Now, how many big shots has Cunningham made?
Oh, he's carried Louisville in the second half. Put his team on his shoulders squarely.
Oh, and that Brown just fouled out of the game. Illegal screen.
Yep.
Boy, and that's part of the problem when you have your big guys in foul trouble. Everybody's offense has your big guys setting screens.
And by the way, we've seen that call how many times tonight against Louisville? It's happened a lot against Louisville. It's a good call.
But you can't be moving on the screen, and he never stopped. See, the thing is, even if you aren't moving, you have to stop. You can't go right into the guy. That's a block.
That's 11 points, 5 rebounds for Brown, but also 5 blocks. They were big and keen, Pittsburgh, with so many transition hoops. McMahon, downtown, 79-77, 1:45 to go.
Boy, there's no quit in Louisville, Tim. They have battled from behind the entire ballgame.
This match won a lot of games. At Xavier and now at Louisville, right man at the right time. It's been a struggle tonight with the team right there. I think out of bounds on the dribble was Audis Tony. And it's a turnover. It goes to Louisville with a chance to tie it or take the lead.
And McMahon, he hasn't had a big offensive night, but he is always dangerous, particularly in that catch-and-shoot situation. Louisville's got a chance to tie or take the lead, Tim. That's amazing.
Yeah, if it goes down to 1 shot, look out. How about that turnover? And Pitt's pressure forced it from Jordan Warren. That's a big turnover.
He dragged his pivot foot.
Yep. 17 of them committed by Louisville tonight. They had 10 long before the first half came to an end. And they're going to go to Quan 4 and get McMahon out of the game.
Right, this is a defensive move here.
Yep.
You can bet McMahon will be right back in when they get the ball.
If it comes down to 1 shot, Ryan McMahon is like having
If it comes down to one shot, there's only one guy in the game who I want to take it if I'm Louisville, and that's the guy wearing number 1.
Yeah, that's true. Cunningham, without a doubt. Yep. Ball knocked away by 4. It'll be Pitt's ball with 15 to shoot, 1:03 left.
And right at the moment, the Panthers are swarming all over Xavier Johnson.
I would say this, if they do take away Cunningham on a final shot, Cunningham is your next option, especially if you need a 3.
Cunningham is the guy who's going to help you even if he doesn't shoot it.
No doubt.
He's going to find the open man.
Yep. It's been an amazing game, win or lose, though, for Trey McGowan. Dan, he's just been out of sight.
Well, yes, he's been very good, and he's been able to drive the ball in the basket. He's been able to make three-point shots. He's been able to make difficult shots in transition. He's had traditional three-point plays. The only real problem with his game is that he's 5 for 10 from the free throw line. But he has been tremendous.
Our performance of the game is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. And Trey McGowan's has been all of that. 31 points. That's a freshman record for a single game here at Pitt.
And let's see if, with all the attention that Johnson is suddenly drawing, if they can figure out a way to get the ball to McGowan's.
Well, this possession is going to go a long way in determining the outcome. A 2-possession or 1-possession lead rests on the outcome here with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ball, poor pass. That was an anticipation of cut towards the baseline by Wilson Frame, and he went the other direction. And that's the 3rd turnover in the last 4 possessions by Pitt.
Yeah, but Wilson Frame actually, he was going in the proper direction. He's the guy you want to get him out there to shoot the 3. It was a very poor pass.
Yeah. There have been many great ones, though, by Johnson to help give Pittsburgh this lead. That ball's kicked. There's 16 on the clock by McGowan.
And the clock will reset to 20.
You know what? If they go overtime, Dan, the foul issue is going to be really difficult for both of these head coaches to deal with in an overtime session if we do go there. Our flight's not till tomorrow, so I'm sort of getting ready for what's next. You know, it can happen. We've got some coming up on Saturday, don't we? Some of you will see Jerome, Ty Jerome, and number 4 Virginia Tech. Marquise Reed and company. Clemson will go to others. Jared Wilson Frame and this Pitt team will battle Torrey Dorn and number 15 NC State. Depending upon where you are, go to the ACCnetwork.com to find out more on the official ACC mobile app where the games are streamed for what will be an outstanding weekend of ACC basketball, all starting at noon Eastern. Here you see the Pittsburgh upcoming schedule, that aforementioned game with NC State.
You know, when you're going to play a schedule, you would prefer that your opponents not have numbers in front of their name. But I think that's life in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
It's hard to do in this one.
Absolutely.
And Louisville, who really, when you stop and think about it, is certainly a top 25 material. They've got a big one at North Carolina coming up. And then Boston College. The other 3, starting on the 19th, will all be in the Green Cup sports. Georgia Tech, number 15 NC State, and Pitt will play them again on January the 26th. 2-point game here. And you see 20 seconds left on the shot clock. So Pitt will get it back, but what will the score be when they do?
Well, again, I think your top option here ought to be Enoch on the inside. Chukwuka has 4 fouls. The other guys can't help.
Cunningham gives it up to McMahon. He decides to put it on the deck. Fade away, Jay. No, not there. Out of bounds. Last touch by Pitt. It did not touch the rim, so only 8 to shoot. Now they can go back and take
excellent defense by McGowan.
I think they're going to take a look at this, as they do with under 2 minutes remaining, to make absolutely certain who touched the ball last, or if the ball also hit the rim, which it did not.
And that's the issue here. Who touched it last? And they have to make a call. And the call they made was that it was Louisville ball. And the question is, I thought it was Chukwuka who touched it. I didn't think it could have been Enoch.
Yeah. And
what you're saying, Tim, is correct. In the last 2 minutes of the game, in the last 2 minutes of overtime, if there's opponents in involved in a play where the ball goes out of bounds, you're allowed to go and look to see who was the last person who touched the ball.
It was a rule that was put in place in 2013 after that NCAA tournament when a disputed play between Illinois and Miami, one of Miami's great teams, went on to the Sweet 16. It was a second-round game, and it should have been awarded to Illinois. I'd say that did not touch the rim without question.
But that's not
don't worry about that. It was who touched it last. Yes, and
the thing, if you're going to reverse the call, you have to have, the rule says you have to have indisputable video evidence, and I'm not sure that you have indisputable evidence there. But you know what the definition of indisputable evidence is? If the referees all agree, then that's indisputable. So it doesn't matter what we think.
You're absolutely right. But it's a great rule that needed to be implemented, no question.
Well, Tim, I understand that, but as far as I'm concerned, let's go. Let's play. If it were me, we wouldn't have any reviews of anything.
Yeah. You know, your patience as you've gotten older has been under
my
a lot of criticism.
My patience has never been one of my sterling qualities. But we live in this obsessive world. Get it right, get it right. No, let's go. Let's play.
Yeah. It will remain on this end of the floor. So Louisville retains possession, 8 to shoot, 29 on the game clock.
I think that was the situation. That's really the first mistake we've seen Cunningham make in this second half. You know, getting the ball inside is a good thing, but I think you put it in the hands of Enoch and let him make a post move.
Sutton's got it. He'll challenge Wilson Frame and get it to go.
Well, Wilson Frame's got the 4 fouls as well. And Sutton is a guy who can do a little bit of everything, including play around the basket. Now, Pitt can hold the ball for the last shot.
Amazing to think that Louisville, after trailing by 16, and on a performance like this from McGowans and Johnson would be tied, with a chance to send it to overtime. Here we go. It's going to be Johnson all the way to the rack. Gives it up McGowans. He's stripped. We're going to overtime. What a comeback by Louisville. And to deny Pitt a shot in its final possession says a lot.
I think it was Pitt, since the game was tied, they elected not to call a timeout, so Louisville would not have a chance to set its defense. And I think that's the right move. They just didn't execute very well. Johnson, and they do a great job cutting him off. Who's that cutting him off? Well, that's Cunningham. And then they react very well back out to McGowan. That was Sutton who got his hand on the ball. Great defense.
And something to consider in this overtime, no opportunity for Terrell Brown to play. Perhaps advantage Louisville. Ready to start overtime. Here at the Peterson Event Center, 79 all. And as you mentioned, Dan, go inside where you got foul difficulty and let someone make a play.
Well, Sutton is a guy who can play inside very effectively, and Jared Wilson Frame with those 4 personal fouls has to be careful. That's a really good play. That's a tough shot by Sutton.
Now Wilson Frame made it as difficult as he could, but I really believe it. Terrell Brown meant so much to Pittsburgh getting out to that 16-point lead. His shot blocking capability coming out of a timeout when Pitt went on a 9-0 run and the lead had shrunk to 3. He made a critical jump hook. He gets his 5th foul on a moving pick. And really Pittsburgh hasn't been the same since. And this incredible comeback continued for Louisville. Now they've got a lot of players in foul difficulty as well.
Well, one of the things that Louisville has done very effectively is rebound the ball. They've got a tremendous advantage in second chance points. They've got 12 offensive rebounds in the game.
McMahon for 3. And they've got the lead 82-79. This scoring run now 17-2 in the last 5 minutes.
Now Louisville has been able to cut off Johnson and McGowan, make other guys beat him.
Johnson!
Okay. Maybe Johnson isn't ready to anybody else make the play.
Louisville's last lead, for those of you that were wondering, it's now tied, was 24-22 in the first half. They're looking for the lead again right here. Inside Wara, playing with 4, comes up empty. Johnson to McGowan. Ooh, he had a 3, turned it down. There's Chukwuka!
Chukwuka did, Tim, was run down the court. That's what you want your big guy to do. Sprint down, and he did.
Timeout. And the zoo is jumping. Something to consider, again, is the foul difficulty. Chukwuka playing with 4. And for Louisville, Williams, Enoch, and Warren all with 4.
It's a good job by McGowan to pass it up, and a good job by Chukwuka to catch it late.
84-82 our score. Pitt with the lead in overtime. Tim Rando, Dan Bonner. Earlier today at the shoot-around, Dan, I asked Jeff Capel if I wrote the script on Pitt will have won because fill in the blank. He said because of toughness and intelligence. Well, they've been tough. Can they play smart in the remaining 3.5 of OT?
Now the big question is, can they make shots?
Playing smart means staying in the game, too. 3 players with 4 fouls. Sutton can't hit. Out of bounds, it'll be controlled to Pitt. You know, you got guys that are as vital to this team as Wilson, Frame, and McGowan's have been, and Johnson have been. You've got to stay eligible. You see that foul difficulty for both teams. A leader. McGowan's can't get it to go. Boy, he'd love to have that one back.
Well, Warren did a nice job defending him without foul.
End-to-end. Yes, and 1. And that's 5 on Chukwuka.
So Chukwuka's gone. Terrell Brown is gone. And so Pitt suddenly gets very small. Sutton is the guy who made the basket that tied the game, and just he does a great job attacking the basket, controlling his body. That was really a tough play.
Dwayne Sutton, transfer from UNC Asheville by way of Louisville, Kentucky. Homespun star, can't get the old-fashioned three-point play, so we're tied at 84 with 2:47 counting in overtime.
Well, one of the stories of this game is the number of free throws missed by good free throw shooters.
Malik Ellison is on the floor now for Pitt. Had to come into the game for Chukwuka. That cleaner does not go. Out of bounds. Tony tries to save it, but can't. And it will be Cardinals basketball.
I thought that time when Johnson drove into the lane, his teammates just stood there and watched. You know, the defense is collapsing on Johnson. You've got to get yourself in a position where he can see you and deliver the ball to you so you can do some damage.
So many players concerned, too, about how aggressive they can be defensively because of those foul problems. Gets into their heads. Here's Sutton again. He remains aggressive. Wara. Right back to Cunningham, who's carried this team so well in this half. Sutton again. Enoch, the offensive rebound. A recycle. But he took steps. Enoch took steps prior to the pass.
Tim, that's part of the problem for Pittsburgh. Both of their centers are out of the game. They're playing a small lineup. You're going to really have to battle to get those rebounds.
Let's see, the tallest player on the floor would be Malik Ellison at 6'6".
Louisville can afford to put some really good pressure on the Pitt backcourt players because neither Ford nor Cunningham have any personal fouls.
Johnson has been firing lasers all night. Into Tony! Oh, the iron unkind, but it is a block. And he'll get to the free throw line. Oh, that one hung all over the rim.
And did everything but go in the basket. And Tony, that's a great job getting position inside, but he fumbled the ball as he was taking it up. Well, you want to lay that one off the board. Oh, boy. And there's Ford coming over to help out. Neither Cunningham nor Ford have any personal fouls. They can afford to be very aggressive. Tony now 3 for 7 from the free throw line.
And he had come in 77% on the year.
This is a guy you'd like to have at the line. You can see he's had his struggles offensively tonight.
As I mentioned, his cousin Trevor Lacey plays at Alabama. Cousin John Petty currently at Alabama. His godbrother is Quan 4 on this Louisville team. Wears the number 4, but not in the game right now. The lead is 2 with 1:40 left.
Well, you got to find McMahon from 3. But again, Louisville needs to go inside.
Well, McMahon, nice cut.
Including inside McMahon, I guess.
That was a good flash for an open shot. That in-between game, a long start.
Now, McMahon has now made more two-point baskets this year than in his career prior to this season.
The three-point shot is more to his liking. Ellison a drive. Rejected. Beautiful work by Enoch.
Made it a little easier for Enoch because Ellison lost the ball all the way in.
Ooh, that's a strip and a deflection. Out of bounds, though. They're going to say last touch by McGowan. He was hoping for the ball to go the other way. Boy.
Yeah,
menacing, huh?
Talking about somebody flying in there. Menacing is exactly the word.
Under a minute to play, and we're tied. McMahon loves that spot. Loves it. This time off the heel. Fast break the other way. McGowan's. It's 88-86. Well, you talk about a perimeter shot starting the fast break. That long rebound led to a 2-on-1, and Pitt got it done. McMahon again. Just off the heel. Shot clock is off. And the foul given up by Sutton. Boy, heartbreak for McMahon. Both of them look good.
Well, that's his shot. That's his range.
That's right where the scouting report says he most wants the shot.
Well, this is a great play by McGowan. McMahon tries to get back and draw the charge, but McGowan says he has done the entire game, just attacks the basket with an unbelievable amount of aggressiveness.
Well, he saw a 2-on-1, and Cunningham did get back to his credit to really make it look like a 2-on-2, but he was late. And yet another free throw missed by Pitt at the free throw line by a usual decent free throw. How about 84% on the year?
84% is more than decent.
That's better than decent. You're right. He gets that one. It's a 3-point game. Louisville will need a trade to send it to a second OT. Jeff, such an outstanding player, and of course the son of Jeff Capel, who recently passed away, coached at Old Dominion. It's in their family. We talked about the family of coaches, Tim O'Toole, Milan Brown. Milan actually coached for his dad and later coached Jason in AAU. This is such a big moment in the foundation of their program, Dan. You really can't emphasize it anymore, and yet this Louisville team is playing just as Chris Mack's team always plays.
This could be one of those program-changing games for Jeff Capel if his guys can hold on. But this Louisville team, they have been down all night. They have battled back.
I mean,
and this is on a night when their main guy, Wara, has struggled offensively. But the Pitt Panthers, if they end up losing this game, they look no further than the free throw line. They're 16 of 31 from the line.
Kristen Cunningham, who carried this team in the second half to such a degree, has not been looking for his shot as often, both in the last moments of regulation and in the overtime. What do you anticipate here?
Well, I think what you're going to see Louisville do is get the ball up the court very quickly. I think if you get an open three, such as the last two that they've had from McMahon, you take them. Although in this situation, you may not need a three if you can score quickly enough.
Still your best options, McMahon or Cunningham?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Don't not Wara.
Here we go. Enoch, wide open for three. Not there. Tipped around. Out of bounds. Last touch by Pitt. They're going to say Louisville basketball with 4.4 to go. And this one should be looked at.
Yeah, they're going to go and look at it.
They have to look at it.
Now Enoch has only made 3 threes all year,
But he was so wide open.
and he's a 43% shooter from out there. He would not have been my first choice, but he had a wide open shot. I mean,
You really couldn't blame him for taking the shot.
Let's see who touches this ball. Oh my.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Now again, it's one of those where they ruled that it was Louisville's ball.
Yeah.
So is there enough there to change it to something else? And the officials stand there looking right at it. Brian Dorsey is looking right at it.
I don't think we have pylon camera here, do we?
Well, we don't have a pylon here, so probably we don't have a pylon.
I realize that's another sport, but let's say it would take a camera right on the baseline shooting straight across to really find anything that would be more.
Brian Dorsey is looking right at it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't see anything indisputable there.
Now, Tim, you do need a 3.
And you have 4.4 to get it.
Yes.
So oftentimes in these situations, Dan, we see the guy that inbounds the basketball, the inbounder, somehow find a way to get the shot. What do you think Louisville may do here when you know you have to have a 3?
Well, let's think also back to that play we showed you at halftime from our classics and our friend Billy Packer saying you have to foul. So maybe this is one of those situations. Again, Pitt without their big guys in the game battling like crazy trying to get this ball.
I think the belief was Johnson was the last to touch it, number 1.
The official's standing right there looking at it. I'm just not sure how you can change that.
No, I'm with you.
And the officials, they understand. That's Brian Dorsey and Kip Kissinger over there. They understand what an important call this is, so they're taking their time trying to make sure that they get it right.
All those games that Jeff Capel won as a player at Duke, and all of the games that he won in championships he was a part of as an assistant coach, how hard it must be to get that first ACC win as a head coach. Something that he said to us didn't matter to him when he took this job. He really wanted to be a head coach in the Atlantic Coast Conference. He's going to have to earn it tonight.
Well, they're not only trying to decide who has the ball, but how much time there is on the clock.
Yeah.
Both, of course, very important issues. Tim, now the other thing is here, this game has been stopped for a long time, and so at this point in the game, again, let's go.
It stays on this end of the floor, and the clock does not change. Okay, it will stay at 4.4. But again, in defense of the time that it took, no, it could change to 5.0.
Okay, all right.
So that is important. And again, that's one of the reasons it took as long as it did. All right, what do you think?
Well, I'm not a believer in fouling, but most people are.
Cunningham to inbound. Let's see if he gets the ball and shoots it. No, it's on the wing. Not there for Wara. It'll go the other way. There is a foul. Boy, tell you what, I'm impressed that Wara got the shot up that quickly.
Well, Tim, he got
a look.
It was a hotly contested
Yes,
Tim.
yes.
It was not. I'm telling you, a contested 3 is a very difficult shot to make. You got to give Pitt some credit on this one. That's Trey McGowan's over there. Gets his hand up, makes it a difficult shot.
It was on.
And then Malik Ellison on the inside blocks out.
I guess the thought was we only had time for the one pass. But again, the extra time was only put on the clock just as the teams were leaving their huddles. Here's Ellison. This will put it away for Pitt.
Yes, it would, but now they're 16 of 32 from the free throw line.
16 of 50% at the line. And now really trying to hold on. How about Never Nervous Purvis' son trying to beat Louisville for Pitt's first win of the year? Not there. Timeout. Cunningham with the rebound and a timeout. This baby is not over yet. Wow.
Well, Tim, this is a tough one now. What you have time for is you get the ball in bounds, you have time for one dribble and a shot. And so if you're Pitt, What you have to do is make sure that Louisville catches the ball going away from their basket. You don't want somebody to catch the ball running up the court.
This is Christian Leitner time. This is
Christian Leitner had 2.4
He did. He did. It's a long pass. Jeff Capel time.
He had more time than this, too. There's not a lot of time.
Not a lot of time. But it is an opportunity for a pure throw-in, catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh trying to get their first conference win under Jeff Capel, hoping to move to 11-4. Louisville trying to stave them off, get their second conference win of the year. Right now, they just want to go to overtime.
So they're going to throw the ball the length of the court, see if Enoch can catch it at the top of the key and flip it to somebody. You have time for a, catch, pass, catch, dribble, and a shot. Now Tony's guarding the ball, but he's not going to deflect it from Williams.
Here's the throw in. Enoch corrals it.